I am working on a lore video for each of the original Marathon games. Marathon 1, 2, and Infinite, I believe. I'm doing a playthrough right now on Twitch and on YouTube Live. They'll go out probably next week. I'm aiming before the Server Slam. Welcome back, runners. I think, without a doubt, Arc Raiders has helped Marathon in its development. I think if Arc Raiders wasn't around when Marathon launched its alpha, maybe Bungie thought they were doing better than they were and we wouldn't have got all these changes and the game wouldn't have been delayed. I love Arc Raiders. I've got about 500 hours in Arc Raiders, so I'm not trying to slam an Arc Raiders here and be negative about it, because I'm still going to cover it and I'm still going to make videos about it, especially when some more content comes out. But there is one thing in Arc Raiders that still kind of grinds my gears and does limit some of my enjoyment of the game. And I hope Marathon gets this right. They've learnt lots of things from Arc Raiders, and I hope they learn this lesson from Arc Raiders 2. And that is the importance of loot and making loot meaningful, including the weapons. I think the feeling should be when you win a PvP battle or when you complete a hard PvE event, there should be some excitement when things pop up while you're looting it. And you go, oh my God, I really wanted this. I need to extract right now. I need to get out. I want to save this for later. Whether that's a mod on a weapon, whether that's an implant, whether that's a core, whether that's a weapon itself. Arc Raiders at the moment is in a stage where some of the lowest tier gear can compete against some of the highest tier gear. So if you don't play it, there are like common weapons that have no color. Then you've got green weapons, blue weapons, purple pinkish weapons, and then like gold tier weapons. Epic is like the purple pink, and the legendary weapons are like your exotics, right? They're like gold tier. Right now, you can go in with like a level 1 weapon, a common tier weapon, like a gray, no color weapon, and basically compete against people running the best weapons and even win those encounters. A common comparison is a Stitcher, which is a low level weapon. If you actually put materials into it and you can level it up, and it pretty much performs the same as a Bobcat, if not better, which is like an epic weapon. Embark's reasoning for this is they don't want there to be a huge disparity between someone who's played the game longer and a new player. And they don't want it to be an auto win. Like, I have better gear than you, I automatically win. And I completely agree with that. I think this is actually a very similar conversation to MMOs. It's like everyone kind of wants to be on the winning end, which is I've grinded longer for you, so I have better gear. So I have a very clear advantage and I win. And no one wants to be on the end of, oh my God, you just won because you've grinded 100 hours. And Marathon and extraction shooters, I think, are in the same boat. Is no one wants to get into an engagement and feel like they only lost because that person has played the game more than them. So there always has to be a way for someone with lower tier weapons and gear to beat a higher tier player. Otherwise, the game will die, because the only people playing the game for 8 to 12 hours are streamers, and they're going to be shitting on everyone. So there does need to be balance, but I think in Embark's case and in Arc Raiders, it is a little bit too balanced. And what ends up happening is it feels like it's not worth, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Is that the saying? The resources that you have to put in to crafting some of the best gear doesn't seem to increase your survival rate or make you win the game more, and so it's not rewarding to use that gear, and so you don't get excited about that gear, and so you don't equip that gear, and then it becomes much more of the meta to use cheap gear that's effective, i.e. things like the Stitcher that you can just level up. A green shotgun is probably the best gun in the game right now for Stella Montis. It's incredibly good, and you basically will always lose against it. Another good example is the highest defense shield, an epic shield, literally no one uses. It does give you a movement debuff, and it doesn't feel like it increases your time to kill enough to make a difference. There are lots of other things that impact this whole dynamic. And for example, like the heavy shields probably let you win 1-to-1 engagements, but because of the spawns and the third partying, you don't have enough shield left to like last another engagement. So people just don't bother with it. People would rather the movement speed and get away. So there is a positive though to being like this. This makes the game incredibly accessible to new players into the extraction genre. Nearly every time you play Arc Raiders, it doesn't feel like, oh, well, you played the game more than me, so you're gonna win. It feels like I have a pretty even chance of winning this and scoring some loot. And that is the positive of it. And I am a massive degenerate when it comes to this stuff. I love nothing more than risking nothing and going into Stella Montes with a free kit and trying to nab players' gear. I love it. And I can guarantee you I'm probably gonna love doing it with a rook. With a rook in Marathon. I'm like, yes, I love not risking nothing, going in, potentially coming out with stuff. But like I said, the downside is the loot becomes not very exciting and you don't get excited when you pick up new stuff. And so I hope Marathon has noticed that in Arc Raiders and has a way of balancing that. And it's a very fine rope to walk, because if you go too far, it's going to be just absolutely automatic win if you have better gear, and if you don't do it enough, the loot won't feel exciting. So I'm really hoping that Marathon gets that balance right, and when I see cool gear, I get excited about it, and then I get out with it, and then I put it on my character, and then I feel an impact from that. I'm like, okay, I can actually feel my character has changed and feels more powerful because I have this, and then I maybe do 1 or 2 raids, and then I lose that gear. I'm like, oh my God, I want to get that again. I want to go back and get that again. That's kind of the feeling I'm hoping for Marathon. Anything else? I haven't hit 8 minutes yet for the ad revenue. What would Astacross do? Talk about RuneScape. At the end of the day, it's risk versus reward. And if the risk is really high and the reward is not enough, people won't invest in the loot system. So let's hope they get that right. All right. Like and comment, go. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.